Hey everyone, today's topic is piercings and tattoos, but before we get to that, I want you to notice that it's done! I finished it last night, and it looks so much better. I've been obsessively looking at the before and after pictures because it just looks so different, and it looks so much better. So much better. So, today I'm going to tell you a little story about the time I almost got a tattoo. It was last May, not this one year, but last year when I was still living in New York. I went out to Wyoming to visit my best friend, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm finally going to get the tattoo that I have been thinking about, and which was this tattoo right here. You can see it's a little compass. I've had that sitting on a bulletin board for like 4 or 5 years now, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. What better way to do it than with my best friend in Wyoming, who has tons of tattoos already, who's a good person to help support me. So I go there, I drop it off, my design, what I was thinking of. I had a couple pictures, and he came up with this gorgeous compass. And it was going to take 4 hours to do. So I come in the next day, and he puts the stencil on my back and proceeds to prepare the needle. One thing about me is I'm petrified of needles. I've never been able to give blood because I'm scared of them. And so I had no idea how I was going to react. Well, my reaction was horrible. I had a panic attack. I've had a few panic attacks in my lifetime, but none have really been this bad. I ended up clear across the room, and he could not get me to come back into the room. I was crying hysterically, and he was just like, you know what, I can't give you a tattoo when you're like this. Which is probably a good thing, because I don't think I would have been able to handle 4 hours of that. So I ended up having to pay like $20, and my friend got like a little ladybug on her shoulder to symbolize her kid that she just had. And so I had a really bad experience with that, but that doesn't mean I don't want it anymore. I still want it. I had that little stencil on my back for a good week, and I was like, oh, it's so pretty. Why didn't I get it? And I still want it, but it's just a matter of me getting over my fear of needles. And the compass symbolizes my nomadic existence and how I've traveled a lot, and I've moved every few years since I was little, so I thought that'd be perfect for my first tattoo. The second tattoo I want, and yes, I've already picked out another tattoo that I want, is kind of ridiculous. I've actually, me and my friend both want the same one. I was up there over July 4th weekend, and I was like, oh, I've already got my next tattoo picked out. And she's like, you haven't gotten your first tattoo yet. And I was like, details. And she's like, oh, describe it. And I told her that it was this old-fashioned bird. I didn't know how to describe it really. And she's like, oh, a 1950s sparrow. And I was like, I guess that sounds right. And she's like, I want one too. So amazingly enough, we're out shopping and we find these necklaces, and it's exactly what we both want. So now we both have this necklace, and now we just need the tattoo. I need to get over my fear of needles. And she's like, oh, wait as long as it takes for you to get over it and get it. So we're moving on to piercings. I have 2 in each ear. I only use one, though. I don't know why I got the second one. I was in college. I think we all went off to the piercing shop together and decided to get them, and no idea why, because I never used them. I have my nose pierced right here. I got a little stud. I got that October 1st, 2009, when I was in Edinburgh, in Scotland. I kind of got it as kind of a way to commemorate my trip, but also because I've always wanted one, and it was super cheap. It was like 16 pounds, which was $20 after the exchange rate. So I got it pierced then, and being that I'm terrified of needles, I had to tell her and be like, I'm sorry, I can't see the needle, otherwise this is not going to happen. So she literally stood behind me and pierced my nose while having me look like off to the side, and I never saw it. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would, but it's a nice little reminder of my trip, and I changed out the stud when I got to Boulder because the other one was so big, and it was like, oh, look, nose piercing. That's all you could see in all the pictures from Europe after I got it done. So I did get a smaller one, so it's not as noticeable, and it's cute, and it's purple, and I love purple, as you can see from the outfit I'm wearing today. So that's my story with tattoos and piercings. Obviously, I have no problems with people who have tattoos and piercings. So why don't you tell me what your piercings and tattoos are, and if you have any stories that go along with them?